There are more than 100 vaccine candidates in the race for the most effective vaccine against COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2 disease, and only a little more than 10 have advanced to clinical trials. So today let's discuss the top 10 vaccine candidates in the race. And the latest news about India's COVID vaccine Covaxin also in the race has made our list to top 10 plus 1. Covaxin is a substance which, when injected into the body, prepares the body, or rather the immune system, to recognize the microorganism, hear the virus, and to fight it and defeat it. Vaccine development includes at least 3 clinical trials or human trials to test the safety, dosage, strength, and duration of protection. Till date, a little more than 10 vaccine candidates have reached the human trials or clinical trials stage. So first let's see the top 5 vaccine candidates that have reached the final phase 3 clinical trial stage. The frontrunner in the list is CHAdOx1 or AZD1222, also called the Oxford vaccine. The vaccine, which has entered the final stage of clinical trials, developed by the University of Oxford's Jenner Institute and licensed to AstraZeneca. This vaccine is made by taking the gene for spike protein from the SARS coronavirus 2 and then inserting it into the genome of common cold virus of chimpanzee. It is said to generate a strong immune response from just one dose, and since this modified virus vaccine can't cause an ongoing infection in humans, it is considered safe for young and old. Final phase 3 trials has begun for this vaccine in South Africa and Brazil, apart from UK and US. India's vaccine maker Serum Institute of India has tied up with the team to speed up vaccine production. Serum Institute of India is investing $100 million to mass produce 1 billion doses, not only for India but also for low and middle income countries. If all goes according to plan, then vaccines may be available by October. Another promising vaccine is mRNA 1273 vaccine developed by Moderna, American biotech startup with tens of billions. It was the first to start clinical trials in humans just 8 weeks after the release of the genetic sequence of the SARS-CoV-2 virus. The last stage or phase 3 trials is expected to launch on July 9th and will be conducted in partnership with NIAID, National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, and the National Institute of Health, United States. The trial will include 30,000 people and will be conducted at University of Illinois Chicago Hospital. The vaccine is based on mRNA technology and have the advantage of high speed of development and less theoretical risk. And so now let's move on to the next vaccine to enter the phase 3 trials, BBIBP-Corv vaccine. This vaccine is made by inactivating the SARS-CoV-2 virus, and it induces high amount of neutralizing antibodies. It is developed by China National Pharmaceutical Group, Sinopharm, China National Biotech Group, CMBG's Beijing Institute of Biological Products, and the phase 3 human trials will begin in UAE in the coming week. Abu Dhabi-based G42 will work with Sinopharm during the clinical trials under the supervision of Department of Health Abu Dhabi. Another vaccine developed by China is AD5N-CoV vaccine, also developed by the Beijing Institute of Biological Products with Kyasanur Biologics. This vaccine is similar to the Oxford vaccine because the gene for spike protein of the SARS coronavirus 2 is taken and inserted into the genome of common cold virus, but not of chimpanzees, but the common cold virus infecting human beings. The vaccine has been approved for the third phase clinical trials in Canada. Another vaccine to enter into phase 3 clinical trials is CoronoVac, from Sinovac. The company has partnered with Brazil-based Instituto Butantan, which has agreed to sponsor the phase 3 clinical trials in Brazil. This vaccine is also an inactivated form of the SARS coronavirus too. So till now we have seen the 5 companies that have entered the final stage or phase 3 trials. And now let's see those companies and research groups that are about to start clinical trials or just entered phase 1 human trials this year. Hey, before that, have you subscribed to my channel? Please click the red subscribe button below and show your support. And don't forget to hit the bell icon too. Thank you, and let's continue. So here we have Sanofi-GSK CoronaVac. French pharma major Sanofi has teamed up with Britain's GlaxoSmithKline and they have plans to start phase 1 trials by the end of this year. And they have received fund support from US Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority BARDA. Next is BNT162 vaccine. German company BioNTech has tied up with US-based drug maker Pfizer for developing the vaccine. It's an mRNA vaccine and the phase 1 of the clinical trials has started in Germany. Another vaccine in the race is NVX-CoV2373 vaccine developed by Novavax. The American vaccine developing company has received a contract from US Department of Defense for funding the manufacturing of the vaccine. The company has started human trials in Australia. Another vaccine which has got the approval to start clinical trials is AD26CoV2S vaccine from Johnson & Johnson. The human trials will begin in the second half of July via its Janssen pharmaceutical companies, and the study may take place in US and Belgium. And the 10th one is Imperial Vaccine. Developed by the clinical team at Imperial College London, the team has started clinical trials and the first volunteer was given the dose of vaccine last month. It is based on self-amplifying RNA technology. If clinical trials are successful, the vaccine is expected to be made available next year. Now, the Indian vaccine in the race, Covaxin. Covaxin is also an inactivated or killed SARS-CoV-2 virus, just like CoronaVac or BBIBP-Corv vaccine that we discussed about. Covaxin, developed by India's Hyderabad-based Bharat Biotech with ICMR and National Institute of Virology. Drug Controller General of India has given approval for human trials to begin in July 2020. ICMR aims for a public launch of Covaxin by August 15th. Though I mentioned in the video that this is a race, in reality it may not be one because we are a lot of people and some are young, some are old, some are immunocompromised. So it's good to have a lot of options, different types of vaccines that can serve different groups of people. And the vaccines I mentioned here are just the front runners, and there are more than 100 vaccine research groups out there working really very hard and which may come out with an even better vaccine tomorrow. So hoping for the best. Until then, let's learn to live with the virus, practice hygiene and social distancing. So stay home, stay safe and be happy. And finally, if you're new to my channel and if you have not subscribed yet, then consider subscribing and hit the bell icon so that you get notifications when I put a new video. Have a great day.